I'm going to need you to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Hello, 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 and welcome to a cooking ASMR. Today, I'm going to be teaching you a recipe for banana nut bread, a classic banana bread recipe packed full of mashed bananas and chopped walnuts. If you want to follow along and cook with me, you can gather your recipes now. You're going to need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 3/4 a teaspoon of baking soda, a pinch of salt, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, 1 egg, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 very ripe bananas, and 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts. Now, I'll wait for you to gather the rest of your things, and I'll get our area nice and cozy so that you can follow along. First, we're going to need to grease an 8x4 loaf pan. You can use butter. I'm going to use some Pam, or whatever else you want to use as an oil, just to rub around the sides so that your banana bread does not stick. Next, I'm going to take another bowl to put my 2 bananas in to get them nice and mashed up for myself. Once you have your bananas nice and mashed up, set them aside. Next, in a medium bowl, we're going to whisk together some ingredients to set aside. First, we're going to take our all-purpose flour and get 1 cup to add in. And next, baking soda. Now we're going to need 3/4 of a teaspoon. Now, let's whisk together all of our ingredients. Next, in a large bowl, we're going to mix together some other ingredients. First, taking our sugar to get 1/2 cup to add into the bowl. Next, we're going to add 1 egg to our ingredients. I like to take a separate bowl just to make sure that that egg is really a good egg before I add it into my mixture. Now, let's take a look just to make sure. Looks great. Now, let's add that into our mix. Next, we're going to need our vegetable oil. We're going to need 1/4 of a cup. Next, we're going to need 1/2 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract just to make sure that banana bread has more flavor. Now, let's whisk together all of our ingredients. Once you feel that you have the mixture nice and mixed up, we're going to add our mashed bananas to the recipe. And once we have all of those mashed bananas into our other bowl, we're going to gently stir them to combine. Making sure to get all those little edges. Next, we're going to just add that pinch of salt into our mixture. And tossing the rest over our shoulder for good luck. Now, we're going to add that flour mixture and stir until completely blended. Now, once you feel you have the mixture stirred up and mixed up enough, we're going to get our walnuts nice and ready to fold into that mixture. We're going to need 1/2 cup, and I already bought chopped walnuts, but I like them a little bit more chopped up. So we're going to take our walnuts and pour them out right here like this. And we're just going to give them a nice little chop before we add them in. And of course, you can chop them however you like. Finer, you can leave them on the bag, or chop them just like I'm chopping mine. Now that we have all the lemons nice and chopped up, we're just gonna add them into our mixture by folding them in. As you can see, I just have to flop itself on itself, and eventually it's all mixed in. Next, we're going to take our loaf pan that we already have nice and greased up and pour our mixture in. And I like to add just a little bit of cinnamon on top to give it a little bit of extra flavor. Next, I'm just going to shake it a little bit to make sure it's nice and level. And now that we have this mixture in our loaf pan, we're ready to pop it in the oven. Come on, let's go. We're going to bake for 35 minutes or until a thin knife inserted into the center comes out clean. If the loaf begins to get too dark before they are done in the middle, you can cover the top with foil to help cook it through. After waiting some time, we now only have a minute left. Now, let's pull out our bread and take a look. golden brown. But we're still going to test by poking a knife through. Nice and clean. And I like to take the toothpicks too, just to check throughout the bread. As you can see, my knife came out nice and clean. I like to take toothpicks too, just to check all over the place and make sure that it's really done. And so are my toothpicks. Now that our bread is done, we want to make sure it cools for at least 10 minutes. The banana bread can be stored by being wrapped tightly in plastic wrap at room temperature for up to 5 days. Take a look at that beautiful bread. It looks so delicious. To freeze, wrap the bread in plastic wrap and then aluminum foil, and it can be frozen up to 3 months. Enjoy!